Good morning, I'm Chris, and I want to begin by telling a story of the kid with the trumpet and the kid with the flute. Now, the kid with the trumpet was extraordinary. He was able to master all of his skills easily, be able to perform any piece of music given in front of him, and time flew by as he was able to channel his energy through piece after piece of music, becoming essentially one of the greatest musicians that you can imagine. Then you've got the kid with the flute. He is nothing more than an average kid who has an average flute, who can play some music, alright? Some music he can't play as well, and other music he has no chance. Now, over a 30-year time span, the irony is that the kid with the flute ended up overcoming the kid with the trumpet and was able to succeed his skills and eventually become even better than him. The story is built to help you represent why potential is not something that is innately visible to all people. It's usually something that's internal that has to come out with time and effort. So, I wanted to make that distinction between talent and potential because potential is not the same as talent. They are two different things. Talent is given to you by God, and potential is given to yourself by your own actions. So I'm going to go for you a guideline on why and how you shouldn't waste your potential so that way you can become the kid with the flute. So to begin our journey here, let's say that you are really bad at lifting weights. Let's say you can't really get into the gym because you feel awkward. You don't really like to ask people how to lift things, and every time you go to the gym, you're not quite sure how to actually go throughout the process. Like, if I'm going to the gym for chest day, for example, which is just, am I going to do bench press first, or am I going to do cable flies first? Some of you might not even know what cable flies are, and I'd recommend you look it up so that way it makes sense to you. But speaking of that, the first step for you would be to look it up, obviously. Like the most practical step that you could be given in this video. Then you take that information you just got and you apply it to your life. You maybe adjust your elbows a little bit so they aren't out here and they aren't flaring, but they're in here. So when you press up, you're using your chest and not just your triceps, right? And also this like shoulder stuff too, but anyways, you get my point. Then over time, you learn how to modify your form, right? Because you're still learning how to do the things. So you modify your form so that way you become better at doing the exercise and you can put on more weight. And there's less marginal error, meaning like there's less there's a lower chance that you are failing because of technique and not just strength. So when you then learn how to do the form for that certain movement, like maybe bench press, you are then capable of actually doing the exercise and getting the most muscular turnout in your investment, which is exercising, right? Muscular turnout meaning ROI. And with that being said, potential is something that is given to you by your own actions. I said that earlier and I'm going to say it again because you have to understand that if you take actions that aren't yours, meaning if you are trying to live in someone else's shoes, you are not going to have that reality at your fingertips. You're not going to have their reality, but instead you're going to have a feeling or a mirage or a or an illusion of their reality. That's what I want to say. And going back to the question, how would I use my potential? The answer would be to take action with the time you have. Take action in the things that you want to do with the time that you have. Or maybe the things you don't want to. Because maybe it's a good skill to learn, right? Maybe maybe AI prompting isn't exactly the most flashiest thing in the world, but if you learn how to use it, you will become very, very wealthy, because that is a very high valuable skill. And then time goes on, step goes on, year after year, and eventually you're the kid with the flute who beats the trumpet. Eventually, you're the one who's in the gym who is helping other people how to lift. You are the one in the gym who is guiding other young people to go lift that weight that they feel feared of, you know? And it's the same thing with businesses as well. I'll think about all the business, like Alex Hormozi is a great example for this, because he kind of came from like, he got into a good college, right? Whatever. Then he built himself his own credibility by building a business that actually worked, because he didn't do anything with his college. So he built a business that actually worked, and then over time he accumulated that experience. And then he became the best in his industry, and now is helping other businesses not only with money but with logistical problems as well. That's his little, like, I believe it's acquisition.com or something. But that's a great example of how time compounds into not only experience but also becoming a teacher. So that way you can teach the lessons of what you've gathered in your life to other people. And, well, profit off that, because knowledge is power, and power is where money goes. And before I leave this video, if we're talking about actualizing your potential, right, I'm going to put in one helpful hint of information, and I'm just kind of like, it's off topic, and then I'm going to give you another actionable example that will help you understand how to actualize your potential instead of wasting your time. And so the first kind of side tip here is that money is not actually a value of currency. Now you might be wondering, how is that possible? Well, when the government made money, right? They made money as not the government. When money was first introduced into the world, it was made in replacement for trading straight goods or bartering. It was made so that way this remote is worth $10 and this book is worth $11, right? The dollars is supposed to be an equivalent trade of an item. The government came along and manipulated the value of money so that way it kind of schemed upwards in a pyramid towards the top of the government, which is why the government kind of seizes a lot of your money and inflation is a hidden tax. Those things have allowed money to become much more corrupt and evil than it was originally intended to be. Before, you'd be able to trade this for half a gold bar, right? Example. Now you're struggling with the fact that every time you buy something, you have to pay taxes on it. Whenever inflation occurs, the value of this goes up to 3/4 of a gold bar for no reason. It's not more valuable, right? If it was like, let me give you this. If society worked as a true supply and demand economy, what would happen is that it would self-regulate itself, because the supply of maybe gold and the demand of TV remotes would equal each other out, because when the supply for gold is high but the TV remote demand is low, what will happen is that people will start making TV remotes, because then that increases the supply of this and more people will buy TV remotes, right? Or sorry, I meant to say when the supply of this is big and the supply of the TV remotes is low. My apologies. But when it's the other way around, what will happen is that more people will go to get gold so they can buy the remotes, and then the people with the remotes can become wealthy again. However, not everybody in this small group of gold buyers is going to be able to get money from the gold people. So it's a self-regulating thing, the supply and demand. But anyways, that was a side point, and I just want you to know that because it'll help you understand how the world actualizes itself through money, instead of giving you the false pretense that money is something that's supposed to be valued and kept sacred, and the hidden it's not. You're supposed to fucking take it, trade it, and maybe burn a little bit. Who cares? It's a little piece of paper. The government makes trillions of it every day, basically. So, anyways, minus that rant. The last point, or last example that I want to bring to you about actualizing your potential is something of meditation. Now, how does this work? Because these two make no sense. Fair. But they do, because as you are meditating, you'll start to understand what presence is. And presence is the ability to know where you are in the moment, what you are doing, and to be able to adapt as you are going through those moments. And I don't know if you just noticed, but I raised my voice a lot right here. And that's because I've noticed in my other videos, I've been quiet. And I've been wanting to get louder so that way my message communicates thoroughly straight to you. Now, I know that it can be annoying sometimes as I come across like this, but I know the importance of what I feel is less than the importance of the value of the information which I am giving to you. And so that's like one example of what would happen with meditation, is that you gain that skill of being present. So what I want you to do is meditate, because once you get that present skill, you'll be able to actually apply information into the present moment and then see if you're doing it wrong. If it's not coming out with the desired result, you can change it in that moment. You don't have to wait for the end. You don't have to wait for that action to be finished to change how you're acting and get a different result. It allows you to move much quicker than the average person, because the average people, what they'll do is they'll take the action and then they'll wait. They'll wait for a response from the world when the world doesn't give them one, and then they'll say, "Oh, well, not enough people saw it." Well, you didn't. What are you giving them? What are you giving the world? What type of experience or skill or passion are you deriving from yourself and purely giving as a gift to the world to see? Are you? Probably not. Because then you would see the results and be like, oh, okay, so this isn't working. This actually did work, so maybe let me try this instead. Obviously, I'm saying a lot of this and that just to kind of make a general understanding. But if I give you like a decent example, maybe if I wasn't quiet and instead started speaking loudly, more people would believe me and call me out for truth rather than just an opinion that they can neglect and ignore. With that being said, I am probably going to wrap it up here. No, I will wrap it up here. Thank you for watching, and I hope that this video has helped you understand how to actualize your potential and not waste it through time and actions that may not be necessary for your future life. Thank you. And as always, we're here to help you help them.